Hello, everyone, and welcome to the mid-season tier list revisit of Fall 2024 anime. Let's get started. So, how this is going to work, so people know, is I am first going to place anything that was on the original tier list. There's a couple new entries onto the list where they were last time, relative, and then I will move them to their new position. I'm gonna leave the new additions to the end. So, or maybe not before I put the highest tier stuff on. I want to start with a show I was at that ended up in C tier last time, and that is Tying a Knot with an Amagi Sister. I was not sold on this. I thought it was going to be generic harem kind of deal. However, I feel like I was wrong. Um, I feel like the show front loaded the generic stuff to have better stuff later. Was that a good idea? I don't know. However, we're only a quarter of the way through this season rather than half, like some of these others. So its ability to move will be relative to what's playing in that season, I guess, when it finishes in winter, which I haven't really looked at yet. But all the stuff for winter hasn't even been announced, so we'll see. But I want to report that this show has moved up a tier for me. It is now B tier. Uh, do I think it could go S or A? I don't like using S. S is just my favorite, and I'm probably going to cheat and put two there instead of just one. Well, I had two there before, but I don't think either of those deserve to be dethroned. But we'll go from there when we get there. Uh, could it move up? Yes, possibly. Is it? Am I going to move it up? I don't know yet. I need to see more of the show, but it's on a better path than it was. It feels a lot as much more of an identity rather than being a harem show with Miko, a priestesses. Sorry, I realized it was like that's fine. Let's do a B tier pick from last time. Magi Luminaire. Aisha. I still really like the show. Um, the I like that they're adults. I like that they've built this world where it's a combination of magic and technology, and that the company's like this little startup in a world of bigger, badder, magical girls companies. And I also love the fact that it is that the two main characters, Kana and I cannot remember the other girl's name for the life of me at the moment. Kashima, Kashigaya. He told me. Uh, is hilarious. Like one is full. She feels like she'd be right at home as the kind of character who's stands up for the like she's got a little bit of that Kansai band going. She's got the blonde hair, and she kind of makes her own rules as she goes. Like the show literally starts off with her riding on the back of two motorcycles, which is completely impractical and probably almost impossible, but I kind of love it. And it goes and we go on a little wild adventure here with Kana and how she's gonna become like she how she's becoming a magical girl and how she's dealing with stuff. I It's super fun. Um, I think it can stay in beer tier. I don't think it needs to go higher. It's not because I don't think it's good. It's mostly because it's just a good fun time. I don't. It's one of those don't think too hard about it and you'll be okay. But don't don't think too hard. It's just fun. And the last episode with the karaoke was great. And I don't want to spoil anything. I don't want to spoil anything because it was just ah beautiful. Um, next, let's pick another B tier pick. Sumasho. Come over here. Sumasho. Um, Sumasho. What's the English title for this? If my wife became a middle schooler. Um, now, if you're a person who read or saw that title and went, "What the hell is wrong with you?" This show doesn't have an ecchi tag. It's not a porn. It's not lewd. It's about a family 10 years after the loss of their beloved mother and wife, respectively, and how they're just broken because of it. And they're still broken 10 years later. And she gets reincarnated as this 10-year-old and walks back into their life. And suddenly, she's reprimanding them because they're not acting like they should. They should be supporting each other. And she's like disappointed in them. But then it goes from them being disappointed to his life is now like he has reason to live again. He doesn't feel like he's just going through the notions. Like his reason to live has come back, and it's nothing to do with anything sexual or anything like that. It's all just this is the woman I love, and he was broken when she's gone. And a traffic accident happened, and she didn't make it. But now she's back, and I feel like the best part of the show is probably the show people think it's gonna get hand waved away a lot. Is the how they deal with this found knowledge and how they tell other people about it. When they're out together, when they're doing something together as a family. She's gonna look like the daughter or the niece of him, but he's just so excited and so happy. He doesn't want to like have to hide, but obviously he does because of social stigmas, which people have against the show, despite the fact that the show tackles these social stigmas. I find that interesting. I recommend it if you want a more wholesome, supernaturally sort of romance show. All right. Next on the old docket will be. Let's pick a C tier pick. Kinoko Inu. It can stay here. It's fine. It's fun, but it's not anything super great. It feels like one of those shows where the order of the episodes, outside of like important things happening, like after you get to a certain point, I think that you get to a certain point and then the order doesn't matter anymore, and you can kind of do what you want. Not to say that it's bad or anything, because I don't think it's bad. I think it's just one of those shows that is unapologetically itself. It does have very heartwarming and heartbreaking moments. And again, if you can't handle the death of an animal or a dog, you might not want to watch this because that's basically how the show starts. If you can get past it, honestly, the first episode is kind of hard to watch for the most part until Kinoku Inu shows up. So it'll probably stay there. Now it was behind Tying the Knot with the Amagi Sisters before, so it was lower towards the D section, but it'll probably stay here. Well, maybe not, because I'm going to do the next one, which was our only D rank pick last season, and that was How I Attend All Guy Mixers. I believe is the English title. How do I explain this show in the least amount of words? It's a story about 3 women who work in a bar where they dress in drag. Or they dress as it's Drag King or Drag I think it's called Drag King is the name of the bar. Maybe Drag Queen, but I think it's Drag Queen. King. So they dress as women all the time, and a lot of the jokes are them coming to dates or asking them out and being all dressed as like hot dudes and like, oh, we just came from work, despite the fact that sometimes they aren't working that day or whatever. I think they just do it just to play with them for the sake of, well, one character for sure does. I feel like Thuo-san, she is the most mischievous of the 3, where Fuji, she's got the purple hair and kind of monotone. She's the monotone sort of character. She's got a one-track mind for what she likes, and the guy that she kind of gets paired with, he's sort of an airhead, but he's like sweet and endearing in the way that he'll do whatever. And the dynamic between the two is very fun. So at least for animated story, I think it's fine and fun. Don't This is another one of those don't think too hard about it, but I'm gonna move it up here to C behind Kinoko Inu. I enjoy these shows. They're fun, but not my favorite. Though I still I still think they're not the best of the season, but they're not terrible. Like, you could watch worse. I don't even know what the name of that show is. I've seen the animation for it, and I don't know what happened. You know the one. I can't remember what it's called, and it's probably going to fade into obscurity. A lot of people dropped it from my understanding. But, what am I missing? Don da don, 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 don 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 da don, don da don don. I kind of hate that theme song. Well, the start of the theme song for the don da donning. After it, it's okay. The animation's sick though. Like, Don da don feels like. Oh, Don. How do I try to explain this? Don da don feels like a show that is much older, much more experimental, and far less worried about keeping the audience understanding everything that happens and just explaining stuff as it comes up. And honestly, I can't hate it for it. I really can't. It was behind another show in A tier, and I think that's where it's gonna stay. But it's still very good. Like, You could watch way worse than this. Okay. Stories from girls who can't be magicians. Or I don't know why it's girls in particular, because there are male characters in it that also can be magicians. So that's where it was placed before. This is like exactly the same, mostly. For this tier, and honestly, uh, I think I like Dandadan better. Mostly because uh, there's I feel like the revelation's coming soon to make this to make the plot all click. But so far, there's been a lot of intrigue and a lot of stuff happening around the main character, Kurumi. Is it Kurumi? I might be wrong on that. I'm having a moment. Yes, yes. It's Kurumi. And there's so much intrigue and weirdness that's been happening around her that we're like one or two puzzle pieces away from everything just fitting into place, and the plot starting to come way. There's been a lot of intrigue and a lot of you don't need to know yet, and I feel like there's also there's characters that know a lot more than what's going on than the others, because we're just as lost as the main character, as Kurumi and her friend. So I'm moving it down one, but I don't think it's. I think these two are gonna like neck it out for a while. Depending how Dandadan ends, will also depend how it ranks in the year end. Okay, we now for the two editions before I go to the S tier ones. Oi Tombo season 2. Uh, Something of the magic of the first season is kind of lost here. She's still growing, and it's interesting to see what she's learning along the way. But it's also about golf, so it's not going to appeal to everyone. 2.5D Ririse is the other one that's new edition here. Um, I don't know where I placed it last, where it last showed up in one of my videos, but I know it was pretty low. Probably like C or D territory. But I'd put it high C, low B, because the C tier is kind of empty. I'll leave it here, but that's high C, low B. It's only got 4 episodes left, including this week, so that'll work out what we need. Now, for the S tier picks, kick on 365 Days to the Wedding is the English title, but it's also a title on the manga in Japanese, so that is what it is. But I still think it's been the show that I basically wake up to watch when it's on. Like it's what is this, Saturday or Friday morning? I don't remember which it is, but it's one of the two. And when it comes on, I'm like, yes. I think it's Friday or Thursday. I don't know. I don't remember. I'm having the moment, but uh, it's continued to be super sweet, super wholesome, and I hope these two can finally understand what's going on here. The main characters don't see what's happening, and I kind of like that, but we know what's happening, and there's been a lot of fun sort of side adventures along the way. It's still very good in my opinion, and no, it didn't move. But I feel like the the line between these two is very, very short. Because Kimi wa Medo-san? You're a Miss Servant, which I really don't like that title. But I like the Japanese title a lot more, but mostly because it's a pun, it doesn't translate. But Yuki has continued to be a hilarious and frankly frightening character. Um, I'm excited to see where that one goes and how it finishes up. But I really feel like it's just so fun and so good. It's so coherent and it knows exactly what it wants. Uh, Excellent voice direction, excellent pacing on the episodes, and excellent use of tone. I feel like some people might think I'm being a little weird here, but there's a couple scenes where she says something out loud, and then she says something in her head. They'll be like one after another, and there's like a tonal difference and a difference in the sound to differentiate between the two of them, and both are kind of important. So if you're not paying 100% attention, you might not realize what's going on. But I also love the his sister, Rico, right? Rico, yeah, Rico. Rico's so cute, absolutely adorable. But that will be the tier list for the mid-season for fall 2024. Um, Again, if you have shows that you think I need to watch this year, put them in the comments below. Send me links. You can check out my Mal, which will be linked, and see what I watched. Tell me what I should watch. I'll consider it. Keep the isekai recommendations to low, and if you are trying to recommend an isekai, you need to sell me on it without spoiling it. Excuse me. But that will do it for me for today, and I'll see you next week for more something. I don't know. We'll see. またね